because you can have a thriving presence and content that's resonating and the algorithm's prioritizing it and you're reaching thousands and thousands of new people a month. And then that can go cold if the content suddenly changes and then we're not getting new patients in the door anymore.
Welcome to Success Confidentials.
9 minutes every week that'll level up your practice. If you're a healthcare visionary obsessed with patient experience, team culture, marketing, and growth, you're in the right place.
We are too. We're Lauren
and Christine,
the patient whisperers. We worked together for 4 years as leaders in a real premium practice.
We did not play in the traditional healthcare sandbox and believe human emotions drive all success, and it really, really worked. We grew our cash pay practice an average 60% year over year.
And on social media, we grew our followers from 1,000 to 14,000 in just 2 years, generating millions in annual revenue from social media alone.
So now we're out here sharing what made us wildly successful so you can be too.
Let's have some fun.
Let's dive in.
I'm really excited for today's conversation because it has to do with social media, but we're talking about the fact that your social media is only as good as it is right now. What do we mean by that?
What is going out right now on your social media?
Doesn't matter what you did in the past.
It doesn't matter how good it was or how good it could be. And the results you're going to get are only as good as the content going out right now. Your brand reputation and your results. Who we're known as and how many patients we get in the door. That is controlled by what's happening right now.
The perfect equation is the content being posted, the person behind it, and really the brand strategy that drives it all.
It's really important to understand these three things because, as we all know, if we are investing in something in our practices, we didn't have an unlimited budget. You probably don't have an unlimited marketing budget. So if we're investing dollars into social media, it really has to pay off and be a good investment, both now and in the long term. Basically, today we want to help you evaluate your social media plan to make sure your ROI is there and you're going to get more patients in the door and your brand reputation is going to be unmatched in your area.
And understand that social media is a pillar of our marketing. It's not just a side campaign or afterthought.
Yeah, it's a committed long-term relationship, not a side piece.
Yes. So whenever we were in practice, as a lot of our listeners and viewers know, I ran the social media. That was my bread and butter, and eventually built a team that I managed. And one of the things, as I was handing the torch of my baby, our social media accounts, it was so hard for me to let go, but I knew it was the right move for the growth of our practice. Was I wanted to make sure that our followers didn't experience any change, switch in brand image or voice. And I wanted things to feel consistent or only improve. And so it was really important to me that I had created something that was very sustainable between the handoff of me and the person I hired or any other people we hired down the road, that the brand was protected through any change we could experience in practice.
And you, I know, really always looked at it from a brand standpoint, which is so important. And I looked at it more from a lead generation standpoint because I was more in charge of the sales side. And that was the other thing I always worked with you on, was making sure that we were still reaching the same number of new people, because you can have a thriving presence and content that's resonating and the algorithm's prioritizing it and you're reaching thousands and thousands of new people a month. And then that can go cold if the content suddenly changes and then we're not getting new patients in the door anymore.
Yeah, because we're really only as good as the person that's behind the social media right then. Not who we were in the past or who we could be, but right now. And so that was really, really important for us to make sure that translated all the time.
So really, when we work with practices and we come in, we want to make sure they're maximizing their investment in social media. The things that we want to make sure that they pay attention to are, for sure, the person. We have to have the right person running social media, and we help them with that. Who are we looking for? But we know people don't stay forever.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So we have to invest in this person, but we also have to know we may have to invest in another person if this person does not stay with us forever. So to do that and maximize this investment, we have to make sure we create a program and a strategy that is sustainable no matter who comes and goes. That our brand image, our brand strategy, and the type of content we're producing, there are guidelines and standards and a plan. That investment will really stand the test of time if each person we bring in is trained on that strategy and it keeps that consistency.
Yeah, and we shouldn't feel a dip in ROI.
So invest in a program and then the person. That's really the key, is first develop your social media program and strategy and then train the individual on that. And then the third thing is really making sure the content we're getting is resonating, and that means working with the people in our practice that are the healthcare professionals that people want to see, that maybe need to be the faces of social media, that they're bought in and that they're included in the point, the concept, the goals. And those people usually have more of a longevity in the practice. And so that investment really should be more long-term when we're working with the people in our practice to make sure our culture is really pro-social media as well. One of the ways that we like to explain it is that it's kind of a holistic approach that takes all three of these things that we just talked about. So you could have a great culture that loves your social media and all the healthcare professionals are bought in and they're super happy to be in content. You can have that, but if you don't have the right person running your social media, it's not going to work. Or you can have the brand strategy and you've invested in a program that is really going to drive your social media, but you don't have the right person to run it. It's not going to work. Or maybe you have the right person. You've got a great social media coordinator, but either you don't have the culture and the people to get the content, or you don't have the strategy. So you really have to have all three of these components to have good social media now. And like we said, if it's not good now, you're not getting the results you want.
And the results that you can have.
It's so powerful. We see so many people that don't have all of these pieces and they're frustrated and they don't really feel like social media works for them. And it's so sad because we know this incredible power that you really harness for us, and we know they're missing out.
As always, we want to leave you guys with actionable takeaways from today's conversation. So my first piece of advice would be to go through your content on social media, and anything that doesn't resonate with your brand, go ahead and archive or delete that post.
Yeah, clean it up a little bit. Then you really want to invest first and foremost in a brand strategy. What is our brand on social media? How are we resonating with our viewer? Who is our viewer? And what are our goals? That is something that we help practices define all of the time. And it's one of the best investments you can make. And then number two, you need to make sure you invest in a culture that is supportive of social media and understands it. And so that can look like, for us, a lot of times we'll do coaching sessions with the leaders in the practice or with the surgeons and healthcare professionals so that everybody's really on the same page when it comes to social media. And then third, you want to make sure you find the right coordinator, the right person to run your social media every single day, the person behind it, and then have them trained on this brand strategy. That is something that we do with every single practice we work with on social media, and it really maximizes your investment. That even if, God forbid, you don't have the same person and you may, lose someone or staff transitions, your brand can stay consistent because you have the plan, the strategy, and the bedrock that can carry through to person. If we can help you with anything related to today's topic, use the link to schedule a free 30-minute synergy session just for new practices.
For our existing practice clients, you already know where to find us.
Now we want to hear from you. What resonated? What other topics are hot for you right now? We want to know all about it in the comments.
We're just a comment away, so if you have any questions, we personally respond to all comments and DMs. If you're not subscribed yet, make it easy on yourself to see new episodes and reference topics that are helpful by hitting the subscribe button.